Hello there, thank you for staying with us and welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I'm Victor Matthias. Now, following the decision by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that's ASUU, to extend its strike by 12 more weeks, students in federal tertiary institutions have no choice but to remain at home. However, while the home stay continues, precious time can be put to good use before the impasse between the FG and the striking lecturers is resolved. Today on the program, we will look at how the students can take advantage of technology to skill up, get employed, and be self-sufficient ahead of their return to school. But before we get to all of that, let's first of all see what made the social media trends in the past week.
Many passengers were stranded at various bus stops in Lagos State as commercial vehicles were scarce on the road. The scarcity of vehicles was attributed to the fuel scarcity, which was gradually building up in some parts of Lagos.
Well, there you go. Those were some of the trends in the past week. But joining us to look at how students can make good use of their time as they await the strike call-off, we have with us in the Lagos studio the Chief Marketing Officer at Skill Party, Opeyemi Adetomiwa. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Of course. We also have joining us via Skype or via Zoom, I beg your pardon, Arafa Ayobami Ogunfemi. She is a front-end engineer and a second-year student of surveying and geoinformatics engineering at the University of Lagos. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, Arafa.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course. So kickstart the conversation for us, Arafa. How has the homestay been so far?
Personally, it's been great for me. Not great, but I've had a chance to better my skills, and yeah, I've had to take up like more work. I've been able to take up more work, and it's been great for me. So yeah, personally, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so when you say take up more work, I'm beginning to think now, what kind of work? I know I just introduced you as a front-end engineer, but in terms of looking at taking advantage of technology, so to speak now, how has that been for you?
It's worked out really well. I mean, more responsibility has been shifted my way because I don't have school. I have had to work part-time as like a front-end engineer and a student as well. And right now I'm able to like do more, basically upskill more and take up more things that I might not have been able to do because of time and school.
All right, very well. Let me just hold you there for a bit, catch your breath, and I'll come back to you in a moment. But let me get to hear from you, Opeyemi. So this is like a first-hand, information, getting it from someone who is actually suffering, from the strike, but at the same time benefiting, using technology as well. But in your own perception, how do you think, or what do you think students who are at home right now, not even forgetting the unemployed as well, how do you think they should be making use of their time?
All right, thank you very much, Victor. So, we're in a world that is digitally connected, and a lot of things are actually dependent on technology. So there's a huge demand right now for digital skills. And the good thing about it is that anyone can upskill themselves in different areas. Just like she's mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities out there for people to be employed, self-employed. And so right now, I advise a lot of students, unemployed guys, to look at platforms where they can upskill themselves across different courses. And the good thing is that there are like a variety of courses also. So you can have core tech, because some people might say, I don't want to go into coding. Is there something else I can do? Actually, yes. So you don't always have to be an engineer. There are also non-core tech skills that are necessary in the technology space. So you have product management, you have project management, you have graphic design. All these skills are necessary. So we're in a season where there are a lot of opportunities. And this time that there's not much happening, people can actually upskill themselves in relevant skills and get employed and start earning income.
Yeah, so the thing is, because a lot of people would ask Google or maybe go to YouTube and search for videos, but sometimes you just need that extra coaching, that extra training that would help you or would mold you, would guide you, so that's where training comes in now. Yeah. So how do they go about this? I mean, what do you need to do, so to speak?
All right. So we have a platform called Skill Buddy, and there are other platforms out there where pretty much you can go online and search for the courses you want to take. And once you sign up for the course, there are facilitators and trainers that can help you hold your hands to ensure that you are sort of getting the right skill sets, and then you are able to ask questions, because the difference between that and just YouTube videos is that you can ask questions. You need some practical experiences that only comes from people who are actually doing real work and have real experience. So with that one-on-one interaction with the facilitator, you are able to learn faster and able to move quicker to start earning income.
Yeah, so it's good you made mention of those who are already in the game and who can actually hold your hand. Let me bring back Arafa into the conversation. Arafa, speaking about learning and also learning from those who are already doing stuff. How did you get into this, and did you start when the strike started or before the strike? I mean, what's your story and how did you find yourself in tech?
Okay, so my origin story started when my uncle got me enrolled in a summer camp, WTech, and that was like my first glimpse into tech. So growing up, it was this whole computer science never seemed like a viable option or something I would just go for. It just felt like, oh, medicine, engineering, the normal. But I mean, I was exposed there and I knew that I wanted to do something around this. I mean, it helped that the money was good, because I knew at that point that software engineers, people in tech get paid a lot. And that was it for me. I started going out of my way. Immediately I finished secondary school, I chose to attend classes, go for trainings, go for anything I could see that felt free or like something I could afford. I would go for it. I mean, it was awesome because my parents supported me. My uncle was like my whole family was behind me, right? And so I was able to grow into it. When I entered school, I didn't exactly want to keep going to school, but then they were able to show me that people have done it, people are doing it, I need my degrees to continue with that as well. But yeah, they were able to, be with me, show me the right steps to take. And it's been really great. I mean, there are communities of people so we have Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors, we have Google Developers communities. So we have these communities that are placed in like basically all universities that help people. They organize programs, they help you get internships. They're literally there with resources and people who have done it and are still doing it. And they are honestly one of the best motivations and inspirations that you could get in a school, right? Because you get to see your mates like literally doing tons of stuff. And then you're inspired because you know that if they can do it, I mean, why can't you do it too? So there are also those cases as well.
So do you have like a community, or a group of friends that, are looking up to you, especially now that they're home as the strike continues, that you are teaching or tutoring?
Yeah. Okay. So we have this course. I'm literally taking a Python course, and a lot of people in my year or in my class have no idea. So I used to run Python classes before school went out. And right now, I feel like almost everybody in my class they are learning how to code. People are doing front end, people are learning Python. People are literally putting in effort, right? And then I tend to mentor when I can. I feel like people have helped me, right? So I'm always like looking out to help other people. So I'll say yes, I do have some people that yeah, I guess they look up to me, but like I try.
All right, very well. It's good you're giving back to the community that gave to you, and thanks to your uncle and your parents who gave you all of that support. I'll come back to you again in a bit. But Okwemi, one thing she made mention of, is partnerships. She made mention of, Microsoft, Google, and all of these companies. How key is partnership in ensuring that, these kind of programs actually, are out there and they're effective and they achieve that aim?
All right, thank you very much. So, we're looking at a large ecosystem, so which means that there are quite a lot of people that want to learn the skills, but more importantly, people also want to be able to apply the skills. So where we need a lot of partnerships is one in the training aspect, and also the second bit is in the placement. So a lot of these guys, when they finish learning the skill, they want jobs, they want opportunities, and that is where we sort of bridge the gap. Not just you learning the skill, but also being able to get practical opportunities. So I want to learn mobile app development. You getting an actual mobile app to develop, which then helps you increase your potential to get new job opportunities. So we need a lot of partners from corporate to government to other bodies, coming together to not just help train people, but also help, create opportunities for them to start earning.
Yeah, so that's the thing, that earning part, which is, pretty much what we all look forward to, especially in the conventional way where you go to school, you finish, you serve, you get a job, and then you start earning. But this time around, this would afford people the opportunity, like Arafat. To earn while you're still in school. I mean, that prospect is there. So do you think that is enticing enough for people to join or to find themselves in all of this? Because it is one thing for these opportunities to be there for people to take advantage of, but it is another for them to have the zeal. So what do you think would push them to do that?
So I think, a lot of young people today want to earn. Even if you look at a lot of the student population, a lot of them are doing side businesses, side hustles. Everybody has to have multiple sources of income. And even because we also play in the tech space, we see a lot of developers who are able to do 2-3 jobs at the same time, earning in multiple places because of the opportunity to do remote work. So I think it's enticing enough because you have opportunities as an entry level to start earning what, in quotes, a banker probably will have earned, second level or third level, So you're able to learn the skill and then you start earning very good income. And the good thing is that the better you get at it, the more you are able to earn, the more opportunities you are able to apply for. The more, like Arafat said, you can be doing 3 to 4 jobs per time, which means you can be earning good income, and not just locally but globally also, because there's a huge demand for our local talents right now, because obviously it's more low cost and they are able to there's a huge demand right now because of just the amount of work that is going on in tech space right now.
Yeah, you said low cost, and I had to giggle. Like, I think it's like it's another way of saying cheap labor. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Arafat, speaking about what drives people to get involved in all of this. It happens that you are in tech at the same time you're in school, so you have all of this on your plate at the same time. What drives you? How do you bridge school and work at the same time?
Okay, so what drives me mostly is money. There's a lot of money, I won't lie. It's but then again, I feel like and it's been amazing. I've seen myself grow. I've seen myself get to where I didn't know I would get in a while. So it's been awesome. Then your second question was I don't remember.
How you bridge both? How you bridge school and work?
So
how you find a balance in between both of them?
It's the hardest thing to do, right? It is very, very difficult. But I feel like if you had been in school before you started working, like before you took on like a full-time job, you would know how to maybe navigate yourself. I didn't take up a full-time role till I think my second semester, first year, second semester, and it was very short because of ASUU, so I've always had like Stripe on my side. But mostly, time management is key. Goodness, you have to open your books. You have to not fail. You have to be friends with people, with the right people. You have to know like the right things to do at the right time. You have to know what you can miss and what you cannot miss. You have to. I won't lie. It's like a lot of work. But then you have to also maybe deprive yourself of a lot of things. You can't be enjoying, in quotes, the way other people that just have school or just have work would do. right? Because they have to work 2 times as hard. So for me, time management has been really good for me. I surrounded myself with, I would say, the right people who are like really, really smart and know what they're doing, and sort of are kind of here and there too. So like they know, they literally keep me abreast of information. They are always letting me know what I need to do and what I don't need to do. So it's been nice. And then then again, to university, people have passed through it. So I've been able to like ask people that were there before me what they did, how they did it, how they did not die. And they give me good information basically. And I feel like because I don't want to drop one or the other, I'm 2 times as motivated to finish up.
Yeah.
So
all right, I'm beginning to think maybe you should write a book so that those coming behind can actually read and understand, and you just find themselves also, and do well if they find themselves in that. But let me hold you both for a second. We'll take a quick break, and of course, when we come back, we'll talk more about this. That's in a moment. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We still have with us our panelists right here in the Lagos studio as well as via Zoom. We're looking at how students as well as those who are unemployed can actually take advantage of technology to skill up, earn, and as well and be self-sufficient. So let me just come back to you now, Opemi. We've talked about all of these courses, taking them and all, but we haven't even talked about the time. How long does it take for one to be self-sufficient? Skill-wise in this to be able to acquire a job and earn?
Okay. So, it depends on the actual course that you're going for. But typically, between 3 to 6 months of intensive learning, you should be able to you should be skilled enough to start, trying on your hands on projects. Yeah. The good thing about this is the more things you're able to do, the more projects you're able to do, the better you get at it. So if you're able to get your hands on a lot of experiences, a lot of projects, then the faster you're able to get to the point where you can start earning very good pay. For example, something that we've seen in terms of helping people grow from even just entry level to mid-level is that it's in the complexity of solutions they're able to build within a short period of time. Because in doing that, you're able to learn a lot of hands-on, have a lot of hands-on experience in terms of how to work around things, how to solve problems, critical reasoning, and all of those kind of things. So within 3 to 6 months, for someone that does not have an idea, you should be at a point where you can start, exchanging your skill for money. And then from there, just get your hands on a lot more projects. And yeah, it's upward from there.
Yeah, so that's for someone who doesn't have like an inkling, at all. So perhaps now for someone maybe who has, say maybe a computer science degree, does that maybe reduce the kind of time he would spend learning?
Yeah,
extra courses.
Yeah, to an extent, because obviously he has foundational knowledge about, especially if he's going into core engineering, right? So he has already some foundational knowledge about the skill. And so maybe he just wants to diversify or go deeper in a particular programming language or a particular area. For example, somebody that's a computer science graduate might decide, okay, I want to do front end fully, or I want to go back end, and even within back end, I can decide, okay, I want to go deeper in a particular language, right? So it depends, but for someone that has a computer science certificate, obviously, or foundation, it's a lot faster for the person to learn. But I think what's more important, either way, is you working on practical projects, which is what sort of what we bring to the table in terms of, the difference. Because we've seen that head knowledge is not enough when it comes to coding. Funny enough, I studied computer science in school, but I've not coded in many years.
I was going to ask if you code, actually, or if you do any
I've not coded in many years.
Languages, HTML,
C++, I've not coded in many years. So I'm more in I moved to marketing. So, which is part of what I'm saying, that there's the copywriting side of things that I'm focused on. So I do copies for products, for example. So that's something that people can do.
Also in tech. You can go into core side of it.
Yeah.
Well, Arafat, let's get your own practical experience, you know, how long did it take for you to be the pro that you are? Let me put it that way.
Basically, I have over 3 years of professional experience, but I think it took me about a year to be confident in my skills, to start applying and to like get an actual job. It took me about a year. I'd say about a year. So, but that was me and being confident. And I also jumped around a lot before I specialized on going into front end. I did data science, I did Python, I basically did everything. I did ML, I did back end. I wanted to do DevOps. But yeah, I found what worked for me at the end.
So you've taken front end as your cross, and that is what you would carry moving forward. Am I correct?
For now, I'm still looking to maybe dive into something else. Maybe this ending of this year or next year. But for now, I'm still very much into front end.
All right, I have to say thank you for joining us, and I wish you all the best, you know, as you look forward into the future. But before I let you go, what would be your advice to students like you who are at home, really not doing anything with their time, you know, and just waiting for FG and ASUU to come to, you know, the end of the strike? What would be your advice to them?
I would say if you can take a skill, I know it's very hard because you just want to read and be done with school. But if you can pick up a skill, it doesn't even have to be digital, right? But digital is kind of ruling the world right now. So you might want to look into that. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, you don't even have to code. A lot of my friends do not like coding, and I've introduced them to other fields that they could go into. You could design, you could be technical, you could write, you could go into technical writing, you could do UX writing. I mean, there is a niche for everybody in the tech space, to be honest, if you want to do that. If you do not want to, I mean, I think the worst thing you can do to yourself is sitting down and waiting for FG to call off the strike. Because it happened to me that last strike, I was waiting and I was going for classes and then it just didn't want to end, right? And it happened to a lot of people. So the littlest skill that you can acquire in the shortest or longest period of time, you should do it. I mean, just because you're studying medicine doesn't mean you have to be a medical doctor. I have a lot of friends that just dived from the medical field entirely after all the years they spent, right? So even if, like, make your research, find what works for you, what you think would work for you. If one thing doesn't work for you, go to another thing. But, like, at least put in the effort, know something, have a tangible skill, because we really don't know when the strike is called off.
All right, Arafat, thank you again for joining us on the show. And like I said, you should write a book so that those coming behind can actually read and, you know, take notes and all of it. But thank you for being with us and sharing your thoughts on this, Arafat Winyemi. Yeah. Quickly also, what advice would you give those students and unemployed as well in 30 seconds as we wind down?
All right, thank you very much. So I'll say definitely make that decision now to learn a skill. Whether you're even using it now or in the future, whether school resumes or not, you already have that skill and you can trade with it, right? So learn a skill, you know, read about, you know, what technology, you know, sort of offers and just, you know, get started, right? You know, there are different platforms out there, like ours also, like on SkillPaddy, but just go and get started. No matter what, no matter how long it will take you, just get started. And before you know it, you see yourself being able to earn extra
Pretty
income.
much just get started.
Yeah, get started, yeah.
Thank you very much, Kwemi, as well, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So that's where we are. That's where we'll round up the show. But as always, we'll leave you with the most videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm Victor Matthias.
This week's top 5 videos kicks off from the prediction by former Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu on when Peter Obi will be president.
2031, he may be able to make it. But 2023, too early.
It is followed in fourth by the appearance in court, religious attire by a lawyer. Third spot sees Northern youth protesting against Muslim ticket come 2023. And a tanker driver who risked his life to save many by driving a flaming petrol tanker far away from a crowded place takes the second spot. Why While in first, we have former President Olusegun Obasanjo listing one of the mistakes he made in 1999.
One of the mistakes I made was picking a number 2 when I was going to become president. But because it is a genuine mistake, God saved me out of it.